After believing in the Lord, why do Christians become fervent for the Lord? They become very active in sharing the gospel, even seeming too aggressive to some people. According to the Bible, we can summarize the reasons for their zealous preaching with the following points. Preaching the gospel is the command of the Lord Jesus. Jesus himself was a gospel-preaching person. After his death and resurrection, he charged the disciples, and he said to them, "Go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to all the creation." Mark 16:15. Preaching the gospel is out of love. Aside from the command and stewardship, there is a deeper reason why Christians willingly preach the gospel. The Apostle John told us, "We love because God first loved us." 1 John 4:19. God imparted his loving life into us. If a Christian loves God, he will spontaneously love men and think of preaching the gospel to others. This is unconditional, just like a mother who loves her child unconditionally. Preaching the gospel is for proclaiming the good news. In Luke 4:18 and 19, the Lord Jesus quoted the Old Testament and said to the people of Galilee, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to announce the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to send away and release those who are oppressed, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, the year of Jubilee." Romans 10:14 and 15 says, "How then shall they call upon him into whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe into him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without one who proclaims him? And how shall they proclaim him unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who announce the news of good things." Preaching the gospel is for saving men. Because of the fall of our ancestors, Adam and Eve, all men became sinners, having the sinful nature within and sinful deeds without. Because of this, man is under God's righteous judgment. Preaching the gospel is to afford man the opportunity to believe into Christ and be justified by God. Otherwise, those who disobey the gospel will perish forever and be separated from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his strength. 2 Thessalonians 1:9b. Salvation is truly such a serious matter. Therefore, despite being rejected and scorned repeatedly, Christians would still not be ashamed of the gospel, because the gospel is the power of God unto salvation to everyone who believes. Romans 1:16m. Preaching the gospel is for gaining the heavenly reward. After the Lord Jesus returns, he will see whether a Christian has rescued souls or not, for the kingdom, the church, to expand. If he has, then he will receive generous grace and gain an earlier entry into the joy of the Lord. Otherwise, he will suffer loss by being kept outside of the millennial kingdom for 1,000 years, where there will be the weeping and gnashing of teeth in the outer darkness. Matthew 8:12b. For all these reasons, Christians preach the gospel zealously. When he returns, we long to hear him say to us, "Well done, good and faithful slave. You were faithful over a few things. I will set you over many things.